But I mean, I'll do my best. And then you guys can point out whether or not one guy did something really cool while I was looking at one of the 3 other screens. Looks like we're off. So maybe I should pull up some data for you guys, just so you're roughly aware of how well each runner will do. Krunchylex is fairly new, so I don't believe... let's see if I can find his personal best here on speedrun.com. Yeah, so Crunchy has a 1 hour 26 completion time for this category, and Mandatoby has a 1:15. So there's a bit of gap there. Mandatoby is known for having somewhat weird routes though, so maybe we'll see some interesting strats there. John and Mobiusman are very close. Where are they? So I don't know John's real time for his personal best, but his in-game time is 51:38, and Mobiusman is 51:46. That's like an 8-second gap. That's going to be very, very close. Should be good. John has a slight lead right now, but that absolutely does not matter. There's a lot of things that can happen in Brinsta, and they might be using different routes for all I know. I know John only does late Brinsta, and I think Mobiusman is usually the guy who does early Brinsta, so it should be interesting. The unfortunate thing about taking damage before you get to missiles is that you want a lot of missiles immediately afterwards. You're gonna have to use missiles to beat the boss there. But you also need missiles immediately after. So you want drops, and you have a bigger chance of getting missile drops if you have full health. That's why you see maybe Mobiusman opting to collect an extra health drop there, just to make sure he gets drops afterwards. He also hits the double on the worm, which is notoriously hard. That gives him a very good lead over John already. The boss normally takes 3 missiles, but you can hit 2 at the same time, basically, and that means you'll only have to do 2 rounds. Some people might call it the hardest boss, and they wouldn't be completely off. Mandatoby looks to have some issues there, taking a acid dip for a second there. Shouldn't be an issue. The way we do Hive Room now is very, very safe, and we generally take very little damage. I say that, but Mobiusman does something weird. I think he wasted a missile. He ends up slowing down a bit more than he'd like probably in that room, giving John some time to catch up. Mandatoby does the room just... Oh, he got sniped in the foot. There's like a lot of things that can go wrong in High Room still, even if you're a good player. Crunchy missing the jump there. That's unfortunate. Missing the other jump as well. He's very, very safe this way though, because the bugs kind of just follow after you, and they're pretty slow, so you can outrun them for the most part. Ruble, yes. If you fail to kill the boss in time, it'll leave, and it'll show up in a different part of Brinsta. And that's like one of the worst things that can happen, just because it's so damn slow. And chances are, no, you get a missile pack before you fight it again, if that happens, but it's still something you want to avoid. I believe it also needs to have taken some damage to escape. I think if you've done 0 damage to it, it won't escape or something like that. I forget. Old school Mobius still with the lead. Here we see the routes diverge a little bit. Oh no, Mobius, that's not good. Okay, so he does the zigzag as a backup there. I'm not sure that's what he really wants. That cost him a lot of time. If you miss that bomb jump, you're not gonna make it past the rippers, because either pattern they use, they'll be in the way if you're just a little bit slow in that room, and that's what happened to Mobius. In comparison, Mandatoby did the room very well, and didn't have to wait for it, so he like completely caught up to Mobius there. Just a reminder though, they're not racing each other. The top races are racing one another, and the bottom races are racing one another. So I said I'd follow the bottom 2 races a little more closely. That's a little hard right now just because they use different routes, but I'll try to estimate who's ahead. Generally, early Brinstar takes about 2 minutes, so there's going to be like what looks like a 2-minute gap, but they'll converge later on. The idea is that you can... there's actually quite a few routes in Zero Mission that end up being almost the same speed. Early Brinstar cleans up the upper part of Brinstar early on. It's a little bit harder, and you have to wait for that stupid statue on the right side. But it's like you get more ammo this way, and it's like a overall slightly slower route. But it gives you more ammo and it gives you more flexibility later on, which could potentially save more time than it would normally cost. It's only a second's difference though, like it's 3 seconds total or something like that. So like, it's just funny how that ended up. There's a third route you can do even, like if you do what we call the HBJ route in Kraid, that's technically like slightly faster, but it's way harder. But it's still only a second faster. It's very, very interesting how every like route change in Zero Mission end up being almost the same speed. Oh, Mobiusman failing the other hard bomb jump here. See, that's another tough one because you sort of gotta react to both rippers at once and make it past both of them. And sometimes you have to go straight up, and sometimes you immediately have to go diagonally. See if Mandatoby handles it. He does it very well as well. You can say a lot about Mandatoby, but it looks like he has the bomb jumps locked down. I think Mobius lost a lot of time here in early Brinstar because of some of those flops. That's like the bad part about early Brinstar, is that those bomb jumps, if you fail them, they'll end up costing a lot of time. And you know, that's very problematic when you're racing against someone who has a personal best that's very close to your own. Krunchylex has also opted to do late Brinstar, and like I said, I think late Brinstar is generally an easier route. The main thing is that ammo is an issue. It's not a big issue though, because you can farm like a set of respawning enemies just before you need a lot of missiles. But I mean, it all ends up wasting time, so it can be problematic, right? John handles Acid Worm very well. Acid Worm is a boss, but bosses in Zero Mission are generally pushovers for the most part. This is actually one of the more durable bosses. It takes 30 missiles, and that's why you want a lot of missiles with this area. You need a lot of missiles immediately after too, so you'll see John searching for one more missile drop. It's kind of funny how like for both of these races they're using different routes. So we can compare Mandatoby and Mobiusman right now, but they're not directly racing one another. And we can compare John and Crunchy in the same way. John got some good drops, so he's fine. You have to kill 2 of the giant side hoppers here when you clean up Kraid early this way. And they're also one of the more durable enemies in this game. They take 10 missiles. So I guess I should explain why missiles are so important. Missiles are important because in comparison to Fusion, where the beam is like super duper powerful and missiles are kind of useless, they went the other way with Zero Mission in that the beam is kind of weak, at least early on. And missiles are really, really strong in comparison. The regular beam does 2 points of damage for every shot. In comparison, a missile does 20 damage, so that's like 10 times as much. So if you have to kill one of those giant side hoppers with your beam, it'll take a while, right? And that's why missiles are so important. Super missiles, in comparison, we don't see them until later. They do 100 points of damage, so they're basically worth like 5 missiles for each. I kind of missed Mobius's acid run fight there. I hope I didn't miss anything interesting, but it looks like he's well, he's fine for missiles, right? He did early Windstar, which gives him a very nice buffer, but he just barely has enough missiles. So I'm wondering if something went wrong, or if he's just like doesn't care much and just wastes his missiles. You can kind of do that with early Windstar. You get a lot of extra missiles. Here John takes the refill. As you can see, you're very low on missiles in this part of Kraid, and you need a lot of missiles, both for Kraid, but also for pretty much the entirety of what comes after, because you have a lot of things to do before you get another refill. John handles the side hopper room very well. That's kind of tricky because you need to shoot 2 missiles while running to kill those enemies, and that's a very small window. Oh, John. Falling down instead of landing on the platform there. He does the good backup though. The good backup is bomb jumping back up. Mobius has a lot of missiles for the giant cider, so he's fine. John seems to have a bit of an issue with Kraid here. Oh no, he fell down. That's really terrible. Mandatoby also has plenty of missiles for the side hoppers. John dispatches Kraid, but not after a bit of a struggle. I think at this point John is still ahead, just because Mobius had a somewhat shaky start with the bomb jumps. But we won't be able to tell for another 30 minutes roughly. It's a little less than that. It's like 25 or something. But still. So I'm kind of surprised to see that Mandatoby looks to be doing the vanilla route, because he likes to switch it up a lot. Maybe we'll see something later though. He's done some crazy stuff so far. So Mobius is one person I expect to do well in Kraid. We'll see if that happens though. I also halfway expect him to do a setup here that allows him to oh yeah, he got it. That's the refill glitch. Basically you can land in the he got the blue man too. You can land in the statue's hand just as you grab the item, and that way you'll refill once a little jingle plays. It saves a bit of time. And there's a glitchy part where if you skip the text just as you're done refilling, that statue will turn blue for whatever reason. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. It's like if you get the refill glitch, you may as well try to get Blue Man too, because it's just so hilarious. Alright, so both Crunchy and Mobiusman are coming into Kraid now. Let's see how that goes. Mandatoby's not far behind either. Mobius looks very good hitting those double missiles in the air. That's a 2-round. Yep, I'd expect nothing less. Crunchy has a bit of more issues, but he seems to have firing missiles a bit faster now. He wasted all of his missiles though. That's problematic because you need I'd say 15 is a good amount after Kraid, because you need to kill 10 enemies and then there are various small things you need missiles for. I think Mobius might have caught up with that. But we won't know for a while. Mandatoby seems to have some issues there as well, falling down, but oh well. Mobius showing everyone how it's done. It's kind of funny because Mobius is an old school run, right? And like historically, I don't think Kraid was ever considered that hard of a boss. That the 2-round was not. Is like considered fairly trivial by some of the old school runners, but pretty much every sort of new school Zero Mission 100% runner has issues with it. I'm calling John new school here, but he's apparently run it for a while though, so maybe I'm like underselling him a little bit. I'm fairly new Pulsemore. Well, depends, because I actually did segmented runs of this back in 2006. But then I didn't play the game for like 8 years or something like that. So yeah, I'd say I'm somewhat new school. So there seems to be kind of a big gap between... Oh no, Mandatoby. Accidentally starting the Shine Spark there. There seems to be a bit of a gap between Mandatoby and Crunchy at this point. They're almost... it looks like they're almost even at this point, but Mandatoby has like a 2-minute advantage because he did early win star. Something Krunchylex will have to do later on. So we can definitely say that Mandatoby is ahead at the top. The bottom race is a bit more ambiguous though. I'm not sure I can call who's ahead at this point. If I had to guess though, I'd say it's probably John. Or, hey now, I'm not devaluing anyone by calling them old school or new school, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to give an idea of who's been at this for a while and who hasn't. And John might have been at it for a while, but I'd say he's gotten a lot better recently. And I saw he was practicing like an hour or so before this race started. You know, he wants to win, right? And he has to bring his A game because Mobius is the previous world record runner holder for this category. Though he doesn't play much anymore, unfortunately. Crunchy and Mandatoby both picking up Charge Beam at the same time there. John gets the fairly trivial bomb jump out of the pit there. It's all good. Like, in terms of things that can go wrong in this section, I don't expect anything to happen between Mobius and John here. Like, it's a scary section because throughout Norfair you have to go through a lot of heated rooms, and you want to avoid refilling too much because it takes a lot of time. So, I mean, if you do too many missteps in normally heated rooms, you might die. I don't expect it to happen to these players, but we'll see. So I suppose John is known for missing one particular missile, which is very costly to miss, and which we saw Mandatoby miss during his previous race with Rosu, which basically cost him the race. So it could happen. I don't know the exact time difference between early Brinstar and late Brinstar in terms of like how much extra time you have to spend early on, but like 2 minutes, 10 seconds or something like that sounds about right. So if there's a 2-minute gap between them, they're relatively even. I was half expecting Mandatoby to go for the bomb jump there. The trick that Krunchylex and Mandatoby are doing right now, you normally spark to the left because the platform is much lower there. So you can do a jump from there and then hit the slope on the right side here. What you can do is on top of the pillar, you can do a bomb jump where you basically place a bomb in midair and boost off that. And then Shine Spark immediately to the right, and you'll get enough height to reach the platform where the super missile is. It's really hard because the Shine Spark timer is pretty short, and you don't have like a lot of time to do all of that. But it's a very strong time saver that no one does, just because it's so hard. Krunchylex demonstrating how you can also just like stall on the left wall and don't have to go all the way up through the platforms on that statue, instead just taking the top one. That's like the backup for if you can't or miss the bomb jump. Only a slightly bit shorter tune. Let's see if John messes this up. I bet he's shaking right now. Oh, he didn't. He's somewhat known for missing it, I guess. I personally haven't seen him miss it much, but he keeps talking about it. Mandatoby has a considerable lead over Krunchylex at this point. Wonder what happened to Crunchy. He just kind of stopped? Wonder why. Maybe his controller died. So if you wanna like get an idea of how dangerous this section is, you might want to watch both John and Mobius' health at this point. As you can see, John is like on his last legs here, so he'll probably refill his screw attack. Most definitely he will refill his screw attack. But it's a little scary, right? Because the enemies he has to deal with here now do 30 damage, and he doesn't have a lot to begin with, right? And if he had just messed up a little bit, you can see how that would be scary. I think John was trying for the refill glitch there as well, but missed it unfortunately. So John is pretty much fine for the rest of the warfare. The scary part is over for him. Mobius has the quote-unquote little more leniency here because he has one-way E-tank thanks to early Pinster. I was actually a little worried for John there. I think he had lower health than you usually do there. I shouldn't be though. Crunchy seems to have issues with that particular wall jump, instead opting to just freeze the rippers together. Yeah, I think they're pretty even at this point, Mobius and John. It'll be very, very interesting to see once they get to Torian, because that's where the routes converge. I haven't seen too many mistakes from John and Mobius in this section. It's been a pretty strong section for both of them, which is good, and that's exactly what we want to see for this race. And Mandatoby didn't miss the missile this time, as far as I could tell, which is good. He don't want to lose another race because of that. He also got the Scheinberg again. That's a very risky thing to do. What you can do is you can, as soon as you hit the first speed block, you crouch to store the Scheinberg, and you still break the block, but you don't fall down because Samus is not far enough over the block to fall down. There's a couple of tricks in the game that depend on that. It's completely unnecessary to do for that particular section because it only saves like half a second if you get the shine spark there. And it loses a lot of time if you accidentally stop too early. But you know, a time save is a time save. And half-second time saves in this game are kind of a valuable commodity at this point. I totally missed if Mobius got refill glitch or not at screw attack. I imagine he went for it though. Oh, Mandatoby does an interesting strat in that room. I think John is like notoriously bad at this Imago fight. Did he? I think he got everything on the left side. Yeah, he did. Okay, John gets a good fight. When I say notoriously bad, I haven't actually seen John mess these things up very much. It's just that by his own words, he's bad at that. Maybe he said, "Oh no, Crunchy." That's unfortunate. Like I said, Norfair is a scary place. a lot of things can go wrong. That's unfortunate, Crunchy. You can of course opt to continue if you want, but at this point you pretty much have to like bank on Mandatoby also dying to have any chance of catching up. Mandatoby might do some crazy stuff, but he's not going to do some crazy stuff that cost him 25 minutes. That looked a bit shaky from John, but he got it. He got the Imago quick kill there. It doesn't look like Crunchy is ready to continue though, unfortunately. John missed the Imago spark there. What you can do is you can keep that speed boost and shine spark through the room that John is in right now. It's a little tricky though, because you have to like sort of hit a missile block really fast. It's in an awkward spot, and then recharge it on a little slope. To those who are not familiar with how like keeping speed boost in this game works, basically if you shine spark on a slope, you can press down again and you'll like recharge the timer for the shine spark, the speed boost or whatever. It's tricky though, because you want to press down kind of fast when you hit the slope to store it so you don't run into a wall or whatever is in the way. But you as soon as you touch the slope, you need to be holding the direction you're going, otherwise you'll bump the slope. So there's a bit of issue with having to hold one direction and then quickly changing to another. And we might see people having issues with that because there's some really small slopes in this game with walls immediately after. So you have to have some quick thumb movement in order to get some of the harder shine sparks in this game. Man, they are really close, John and Mobius, I think. Should be good. Mandatoby dispatches Imago. Or Imago Cocoon, I should say. That looked like a very solid start for Mobius. I think he killed them, Imago around the same time as John did though, so maybe I was just a little harsh on John. Maybe he was just fine at the beginning. It's always kind of hard to judge how fast people fire missiles. There are some bosses in this game that just require you to fire missiles pretty fast. And I think it's Axodo who always tells people that this is you have an 8-frame cooldown for every missile, so you gotta time it pretty well to get like as many missiles out as you can in a short amount of time. John gets the speed jump room first try. It's like a notoriously hard room because that jump is very, very tight. And every time you fail it, you gotta reload the room, which takes a long time. Mobius gets the ice clip just fine. I apologize for not covering that, but there's a lot of stuff I have to cover at once. The ice clip is a recently discovered thing where the game gets very confused when you're standing on top of two enemies at once, two enemies that respawn. No, Mobius, why did you do that? Why did you do that, Mobius? So for that room Mobius is in, you can shoot the missile block while falling down, but you can also just opt to hold the thing on the left side and just shoot the missile under this, no worry. He wanted to be fancy, and he wanted to save that small amount of frames that you save by not grabbing the left ledge. But he missed it, so he lost a lot of time there. And now I imagine John is ahead. We'll see though. Mandatoby doesn't have the same issues as Mobius does. So, what Mobius. That's embarrassing. I don't even want to... Let's just pretend that didn't happen. I'm sure even if you're not very knowledgeable about this game, you can figure out what went wrong for Mobius there. So throughout Ridley area, you want to make sure that you collect as many super drops as possible. John has 8 at this point, which means he's had some pretty decent luck. It's basically just something you want to kill Ridley faster, and because taking the statue refills is pretty slow, you want to just get as many drops as you can without stopping. Mobius and Mandatoby are synced, huh? And they were pretty far apart before. It just goes to show you like that the amount of time that Mobius lost with those 2 mistakes. Not gonna lie, it was pretty bad. I didn't cover the Ridley fight very much there, and there's a good reason for that. It's extremely trivial. It goes down fast. You have a lot of missiles in 100%. You have a lot of health, so you don't even have to worry about dying, really. John having some issues with the wall gem there. Oh, that's a shaky climb. That's a very... Jeez, John, what's wrong with you? That's like a really easy room. Oh, I love the sync on... Oh, John! I thought he was about to destroy the bug there, and that would have been bad. The sync on Mandatoby and Mobius' streams, it's great. I'm loving it. So it's talking about collecting super drops throughout Ridley. You also have to collect supers on the way out, because you want as many as possible heading into Torian. And John has 10, which is the max he can have right now. So he's fine. So because John is doing late Windstar, what he's opting to do now is go to Windstar and collect the remaining upgrades that are in the upper part of Windstar. So soon we'll be able to see whether or not, well, just how far apart John and Mobius are at this point. I imagine John is ahead at this point. But the question is, how much? Mandatoby has 9 supers, he's doing very well. That'll be a fast Ridley fight. Mobius has 7, which is still fine. Definitely not worth refilling for. I think I've seen John mess up this particular ball spot before. I don't think he will. But Mobius might be hoping he does. Okay, he's doing just fine. I shouldn't be jinxing people like that anyway. I just want to see a close race. That's all. So these days, personally, I usually go for early Windstar. But I actually kind of miss doing the cleanup of upper Windstar that you do in late Windstar route. It feels pretty good, just because it goes so fast because you have all your upgrades. It's just a nice platforming section, in my opinion. It flows really well. John showing us there that bombing at the door is a bad strategy to get those bugs to grab the thing. See, I keep telling him to use Charge Beam instead. And it's not superstition at all, I swear. Mandatoby is actually a bit ahead of Mobius at this point. Jeez. I guess that's what Rust does to you. Ridley is like one of the harder areas in general to do well, and Mobius has not been playing very much. And that really showed from some of the mistakes he made there. think John is actually looking kind of shaky in some of his platforming there. Or maybe he just does the room differently than most other people. Can't tell. Anyway, to get to the room John was previously in, you have to use a super missile to get out that way again. That's like one kind of disadvantage that Late Brinstar has. It's that you have to use a super missile. And I mean, you want as many super missiles as you possibly can have in Torian. So you're just always going to be at a deficit compared to early Brinstar. It's not a huge deal. Like, one super missile is not that bad. But, you know, it's the little things. Mobius does the optimal strat of grabbing the missile there while you're destroying the bomb floor there. Yeah, it definitely looks like John has quite a lead, because at this point the routes are converged. Mobius just has to grab Long Beam and head for Torian, and he's at least like... Jeez, that's worse than I thought. And it's definitely worse than I thought. He's like 40 seconds behind or something like that. It's not over yet though. There's a lot of things left to the game. We'll see. Throughout Torian, you want as many super drops as possible. I forget exactly how big of a chance you have of getting super missiles from Metroids, but John is having great luck right now. Already back up to 4 again. I have a list of like odds of getting so and so many super missiles throughout Torian, but I don't really want to pull it up right now. I'm just more interested in seeing whether or not they make any mistakes, because getting grabbed by a Metroid is potentially like kind of a big time loss, I guess. Like comparatively, it's gonna cost you a few seconds. You'll see them saving 4 super missiles just because it's what you need to deal with Mother Brain fast. So basically it's like always worth holding on to 4 super missiles. Mandatoby does not seem to have a lot of luck with getting super missiles. Mobius is faring slightly better. John seems to handle Mother Brain very well. He got hit by a red Rinker, but it's not a big deal. Extremely solid performance from... What was that? Why did Mobius pause? That's weird. Mandatoby having some issues there as well. John gets a 132 escape, which is solid. I'm sure he's not complaining about that. That looked like a solid Mother Brain to me on both Mobius and... Well, okay, Mandatoby has some issues there. It's a little tricky because the red Rinkers are always homing in on you, so you have to keep an eye on whether or not you're being shot at while you're fighting Mother Brain. What you can do is between the little cooldown every time she fires her eye, you can like freeze whatever red rings are coming for you. But I mean, it's a lot of things you have to do at once. Mobius has a bit of a shaky escape there. Same goes for Mandatoby. It's not bad though, but it's a couple of seconds. Suitless section is, you know, it's a place where a lot of things can go wrong. Not you die kind of wrong, unless they opt to skip this refill, but you lose quite a bit of time kind of wrong. Mobius already picked up one map during this race, which was pretty embarrassing. Generally when we talk about embarrassing maps though, we're talking about the one coming up on John's screen there. He skips it just fine. I assume that's going to be the case with all contestants. But the thing that like grabs you and starts the map sequence is like, that's a kind of a big hitbox. Oh, John might have messed that room up a little bit. That does not look very good. I think he's fine now. Only cost him like a second or two. I guess he got spotted by the pirate. That's slightly costly. Gives Mobius a chance to catch up there. That's another dangerous trick for John there, but he gets it. You need to hit the wall like immediately after you start dropping almost, so you don't hit the tripwire, otherwise you lose a lot of time. Mobius did not embarrass himself further, that's good. And he also takes the refill. I'm not surprised. As does Mandatoby. No one wants to die this far into the race. You actually save a lot of time by skipping that refill in 100%. But it's just so risky because you're basically a one-hit KO for the entirety of that. Mobius gets a slightly better start to the suitor section than John did. Mandatoby just fine as well. There's a fast strategy for getting past the searchlights that John was waiting for there, but it's risky because it loses a lot of time and it's kind of a minor time save, so. I think if you miss it, it's like 6-7 seconds or something like that. All the runners are on pretty straightforward sections at this point. Nothing really of interest. I'm just trying to see if one of them might mess up their platforming. Mandatoby missed a shot there. Again, it's like minor time loss. Doesn't really matter. Mobius tries for fast searchlight, but it looks like he moved too slow. He got spotted. That's unfortunate for him. He's already behind, so I can't really blame him for taking these sort of risks to save some time, but that sets him even further behind now. Not good. There are definitely some things later on in the game that can cost a lot of time, so it's not like Mobius is a lost cause or anything. But it's looking pretty bad right now, I'm not gonna lie. It's looking pretty bad. I'd expect Mobius to have the stronger endgame though. I'd expect him to catch up to John. But you know, Rust does a lot of things to you. And Mobius definitely has quite a bit of that. There are very few Metroids in this game. It's true. That kind of goes for all the Metroid games, except like Metroid 2s that someone else pointed out. I think at this point the series is less about Metroids and more about other things, I suppose. Well, to be fair, at least they have more Metroids than Metroid Fusion. It's more like a common theme than an enemy at this point. John is at the Ruins Test boss right now. I think Ruins Test is actually the official name for it. We just call it Charlie. He kind of looks like a Charlie, doesn't it? You might very well be right about that, Nero. There's a lot of lore to it. And I seem to recall having heard something similar. So for the boss that John is fighting right now, how long you have to wait for the weak point to show up is random. Most people opt to damage themselves in between rounds because it usually means you'll have a faster next weak point. But you can still have some really slow fights despite that. Oh, that was a very slow last one for John. As long as you don't miss any shots, most runners are usually happy with what they get. But missing a shot can be very costly. The boss also progressively moves faster and faster, so if you miss a shot, it actually gets a little harder every time. And it can just kind of snowball into a series of mistakes. John has to go through a pretty simple section at this point. Except for the fact that we're playing 100%, I completely forgot. There's a fairly complicated shine spark he has to pull up there. And if he drops that shine spark at any point, he has to go a long way back and boost a lot of time. See, this is what I'm talking about? Oh, John. Why did I jinx you so? Mobius looked to have a good fight as well. That was weird. It just looked like John didn't press down for some reason. Alright, gets it the second time. You know, it adds up. It's something for Mobius to catch up with. I don't have sound on right now, but I saw that. Oh, John. That's just embarrassing, John. You bombed on the top there. The ceiling is kind of weird there. I kind of knew that could happen, but still. I'm sure he's not happy about that. What was I saying about sound? Oh yeah, I saw both Mobius and John were switching between missiles to the music while they were waiting. Let's see if Mobius can show them how it's done. He kinda can. Ideally, you want to pick up the missile before you get that E-tank. But it's a little trickier because you have to keep the shine spark, and if you miss the missile block, it just gets a little scary because you're kind of running out of time. So Mobius instead opts to pick up the E-tank before the missile tank. Yeah, I mean, and that's just from one small mistake. Mobius managed to catch up quite a bit to John. And there's a lot of those things left. So I would definitely not rule Mobius out yet. John is pretty consistent, but he's not perfect by any means. Not by any means. Mandatoby has generally been following Mobius pretty well. Mobius has like a slight lead over Mandatoby at this point, but he's not far behind. I think that speaks well of Mandatoby, because besides the shaky Ridley area, Mobius hasn't really done any massive mistakes, besides maybe fast searchlights. At this point in the game, you just have to get power bombs. So power bombs open up a fair few areas. So you need power bombs to get the remaining items in the game. Like I said before, this is a relatively straightforward section. I can't imagine too many things would go wrong. But once we have power bombs, oh boy. And there's a lot of things you can choke immediately after. Maybe not immediately after, but pretty shortly afterwards. John making his way to power bombs there. I mean, yeah, that's the unfortunate history of zero mission power bombs. They're just kind of useless. They don't really do anything. I guess that's the fate of being a remake. They want to add like most things from Super Metroid, but they don't really have like the original Metroid was not that big of a game comparatively, so. Finding places to put in the new items and making them somehow useful is, I mean, it's quite a task. So power bombs' only use is basically to get you a few more items. They're also located extremely close to the final boss, and while the path to the final boss is technically blocked by a power bomb block, there's a little secret passage you can use to circumvent that. So they never really need it. John handles that room very well. There's a lot of things you need to do at once in that room, so it's kind of tricky. You kind of need to almost like shoot in every direction, lay a bomb, make sure you get to the work bot, stop it. There's just a lot of things that could go wrong there, but he handled it pretty well. A really good finish time for this game is probably 1 minute 12 or less. I don't think anyone will hit that during this race, but they should come pretty close, and I'd be very surprised if any of them go over 1:15. Here comes one of the big tricks you don't want to choke on, the one John is doing right now. You lay a power bomb to destroy the glass. Oh no, John! John, no! Okay, John has a decent backup planned. What you want to do there is... Oh, John, what are you doing? What you want to do there is you want to store a speed boost just after the glass is destroyed. And that way, you can grab an E-tank without having to do a really long... without having to run really far left and then back again. But he totally messed up that, so that's going to cost him a lot of time, and that might actually be enough for Mobius to catch up. It's going to be hard to see whether or not they're even at this point though, because John opted to do the backup of picking up the power bomb tank on the right side there. Mobius will not be picking up that up until a lot later. Mobius. Ah, no. Okay. Well, I mean, Mobius had his chance to catch up there, and he just blew it by trying to save a couple of frames. So Mandatoby does the save method there, and he gets it just fine, so he doesn't lose a lot of time. He doesn't lose any time, really. So good job, Mandatoby. You were the only one who got glass tube in this run. I'm kind of sad that they both failed that. That's not something you want to see in a race like this. I guess it was a little exciting when John failed it because it gave Mobius a chance to catch up, but at this point, well, I think they ended up losing roughly the same amount of time. Mobius might even have lost more time because he failed it later. Jeez. Chat is rioting. Well, on the bright side, it means they have a little more power bombs because they picked up the other tank earlier. So they don't have to do a really complicated challenge block here. They can instead just opt to bomb the power bomb blocks on the floor there and just run through the area like John is doing right now. And at least John didn't have any issues with that. Earlier today we saw a race where someone, I'm not going to name any names here, but someone was having a lot of trouble with that particular sequence. Looked like John got the space boost, but my eyes were elsewhere. Here's another thing you most definitely do not want to choke on. You have to do a space boost through this area, which is basically space jumping through an area while holding a speed boost. You need to destroy some speed blocks on the very left side of Torian. If you hit something underway, you kind of have to walk all the way back and like restart the speed boost where there's space. Okay, John gets it just fine. John seems to be having issues there. So for this section, personally, I just opt to like space jump to the top. What John seems to be trying to do is jump from platform to platform, and it's probably faster overall, but not if he keeps missing the platforms or jumping into the platforms from below. Alright, here's hoping Mobius does not do anything stupid during this section. Looks good. I mean, I didn't expect him to fail it, to be honest, but I've seen some shaky things today, man. My faith in both players have been shaken a little bit. But you know, it's a tournament. There's nerves. People mess up. It's looking a little grim for Mobius, though. Just because at this point it's kind of... Well, I suppose there's some things that can still go wrong, but I don't... It's gonna be very, very hard for Mobius to catch up. I saw John make a slightly small mistake while he was in the acid, but he needs to make a lot of those small mistakes for Mobius to have a chance of catching up. Mandatoby just kinda doing pretty well so far. I don't think he's really messed up anything in cleanup. Nothing major at any rate. He's almost caught up to John as well, and John had a pretty big lead over him at some point. There's a long space boost in North Air you can do to save a few seconds. I'd be surprised if John goes for it. I don't know about Mobius, but I'd be very surprised if John goes for it, considering how far ahead he is. Mandatoby might be going for it. I mean, his competition is kind of eliminated, so he doesn't really have much to worry about at this point. There's a lot more at stake between the bottom two races. In terms of predictions for this race, I think most people actually predicted John to win this one, which kind of surprised me, because I mean, Mobius might be rusty, but he was at one point, I think he was like the only one that really did this category, and he had the fastest time at some point. So I mean, no faith in the old dogs, I suppose. What's at stake? What about honor? What about glory? Pride? Bragging rights? There's a lot at stake. Oh, John. What are you... Well, I guess reloading the room is fine at that point. Yeah, that's sensible, I suppose. Alright, Mobius is not going for the space boost either. John does it on the way back. John is so weird, man. The space boost on the way back saves, like, frames. I don't like to do it just because I don't really feel like mashing the A button at that point. So unless I absolutely need those frames, I usually never go for it on the way back. John still has kind of a big lead, even with some of the smaller movement mistakes he's made. I wouldn't rule out that Mobius could catch up. I wouldn't rule it out completely, but this is John's game to lose. He kind of has it in the bag at this point. There's like 10 minutes left, and nothing overly difficult to deal with. One thing that I suppose could go a little wrong is that they might be a little confused on that power bomb count, because they kind of did some weird backup because they failed Shine Spark earlier, and Mobius might know what he's doing a little more than John. We'll see though. I'm trying to think whether or not that should really matter, the power bomb count. I don't think it should. We'll see though. Krunchylex unfortunately died about 25 minutes into the run, which is one of the more dangerous parts of the run. John gets the Shine Spark just fine here. I suppose that was like one of the bigger time losses that could happen. It's a pretty trivial one though, but if you do fail it, you know, it loses time. Quite a lot of it. John misses the missile block there. See these small mistakes, if I were John, I wouldn't even be worried about it. I mean, I don't know if he's following the race at all at this point, but that's like, oh, I lost a second. Well, whatever, I'm like 40 seconds ahead. As long as I don't do anything massively stupid, I'm fine. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of trying to jinx him a little bit. Just because I want to see a close race, right? It's in the interest of viewership. Can't blame me too much. I think Mandatoby is the one I've been most impressed with so far. I mean, he's a little slower overall than both John and Mobius, but he's just had a really solid showing for the most part, especially doing cleanup now. Whereas Mobius and John, well, you know, that whole glass tube debacle kind of shook my faith a little bit in both of them. So it's a race. I mean, I'm sure they're a little bit nervous. Commentator's curse is a very real thing. But you know. I'm very biased when I commentate. I'm very sorry, but I also feel like I should speak my mind. So this is like probably the most boring part of 100% in my opinion, just because you have to backtrack a whole lot just to get that one powerbomb tank that Mobiusman just picked up. It's pretty far back. It's almost all the way back to where you got your fully powered suit back, but you can't get it any earlier than this because you need powerbombs, and powerbombs are in the exact opposite area of this whole endgame area. So it's just it's a detour regardless of when you pick it up. Kinda sucks, but that's how it is. So Mandatoby picking up the powerbomb tank here when you're supposed to. Unlike Mobius and John, who had to pick it up a little bit earlier because they messed up a very, very important trick. At least John at least didn't forget about the fact that he already picked up the tank, and Mobius didn't forget about it either, so they didn't waste further time that way. And it doesn't look like there are any issues with their powerbomb count. Maybe? No, there shouldn't be. There should not be. It's fine. Yeah, this is definitely John's game to lose at this point. He's way ahead, and there's nothing that can really go wrong at this point. Nothing I'd expect to go wrong anyway. On the bright side, what this probably means is that we will see someone go for Space Jump E-Tank, and that's always exciting. So it's a cool trick that you have to do to save 4 or 5 seconds. That's super risky for the very final item you pick up for this category. It's kind of a, you know, when you get really good at this category and you're on a really good run, and then suddenly there's one of the hardest tricks in the game for the very final item. You know, it gets to you sometimes. It runs nerves. John is just not gonna go for the risky strat though. I don't think so. Mobius is a big advocate of it though, and he's behind. He needs it, so I'd very much expect him to go for it at this point. There is absolutely nothing that could go wrong, mark my words. There's nothing that's gonna go wrong at all. I really hate the room that John is in right now, just because there's a lot of pirates in that room, and it lags a lot, and it will eat your jump every single time. It's really a very, very annoying room. Oh, John is... John. Okay. Well done, John. Well done. You gave me a small heart attack, but you got space jumpy attack. Honor restored. Can't believe he went for that while he was ahead. Jeez. John has some big, he has a lot of courage, let me put it that way. It's Mobius' turn to go for it. Oh yeah, easiest trick in the game, good job. Mandatoby showing off the easier way of getting it. And you know, he doesn't have to prove anything. He's not raising anyone at this point. At this point, he could just go for a very cozy finish. John gets the door bomb, saves like 2 frames. Good job, John. Good job. I think even if everything went wrong for John doing this escape, he'll still have enough of a lead over Mobius that he has no chance of catching up. I can't say I'm a little disappointed. I did expect this race to be a little closer, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like Mobius had his chance. He had his chance, and then he just messed up. Oh well, I mean, he's not completely out of the tournament. He has a loose bracket, and he is one of the highest seeds, so he's still expected to go a lot further. But you know, it's always nicer to be in the winner's bracket. Less pressure, even if you do lose, you get a second chance. John doesn't even mess up, he just gets it. He just gets everything he has to do for the escape. Let's see that perfect Black Pirate fight. Nah, not quite perfect, but still, I mean, it's passable. And it looks like John finishes with a 113.08, which is not bad at all. Considering the amount of mistakes they made, I think 113 is very, very respectable. Mobius also does the escape just fine. I hope I didn't jinx that. That was interesting. Mandatoby also getting it, looks like. Yeah, no issues there. Hello, who might I be talking to?
So,
what do you have to say for yourself?
I'm disgusted.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. You still won by like 40 seconds though, so I mean, congrats, I suppose.
I mean, that was, I would say about 50-50 me being bad and controller issues.
Yeah, I saw you messed up a Shine Spark sequence because you flat out didn't press down.
Yeah, my controller has issues with pressing down sometimes. Just really unfortunate time for it to happen.
It was, but you had quite a lead at that point, so I don't know if you were following at all.
No, I wasn't. I had no idea what was happening.
Okay.
But man, I was actually on PB pace until I missed the last tube.
That sucks.
Hey guys.
Hello. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm sorry.
Okay, apology accepted.
That run was unbelievably trash. I was hoping it would be a good one, but it was not.
If you hadn't messed up, Glass Tube, I think this would have been a lot closer.
Wait, you missed Glass Tube too?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went for the Space Boost again. Speed Boost, whatever.
Yeah. I just didn't even press down, so I didn't even get that far.
I wasn't following what happened to Crunchy.
He died in Norfair, unfortunately. Hi, Crunchy.
die.
How was your
Mobius-
run before you died?
It was okay. I was actually ahead of my splits, and then, well, mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
That seems to be the general theme today. Yeah, except for Mandatoby. Looks like Mandatoby had a pretty good run.
Well, plus 35. It was alright.
I just saw the race PP, so I figured it was probably not too bad.
It was okay. Like the start wasn't that good, but then it got better.
Yeah.
I still think that I'll have to improve a lot to win my next match.
Who is your next match against anyway? Loser 21.
Yeah, it's not set yet. It's either Mickey or Drangfangs.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Should probably
I know,
update the scores to reflect all of this.
Yeah. I just felt a bit burned out, after that race against Ross, and then that crazy race against Boxmeister was a bit tired, and I had to motivate myself a bit.
I got 3 seconds higher in game time the last race and 20 seconds higher real time.
Nice. That's the sign of a good run, I think.
Yep.
Anyone else have any funny stories about how they were playing? I'm all ears.
No, this was pretty average, I think. I got a doubles powerbomb drop from the lottery, though. That was pretty cool.
Did you? I didn't even see that. Congrats.
Yeah, and then I thought, okay, I have so many powerbombs, I can use some fast powerbombs. And then I thought I miscounted, but it was just perfect.
Did you notice I paused in Turian?
Yes, I saw that. What was that about?
My monitor cut out while I was fighting Metroids.
Oh, I see.
It didn't matter too much because I knew there was one frozen in front of me, so I just had to hold R and press B 5 times. Without without looking at the screen. But then I just paused until it came back.
I did actually have my SP just reset on me in a Norfair. You may have seen me just stop moving for a good 5-10 seconds.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Yeah, just playing and suddenly it's like, why am I not moving? Oh, it reset. Dang it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about those controller issues, man.
Yeah, controller issues will get you every time.
Yeah, but I can't blame controller issues for actually dying. That was all me, but I mean...
What is happening on your stream, Mobius?
I just cut my stream. Oh, no, I didn't. Whoops.
Crunchy, did you die in the big heated room just after high jump?
Oh, no, I wish. No, I was so focused on trying to avoid John's strats that I actually didn't even shine spark, and I just fell in the lava, at which point I didn't have enough health to make it back across.
That's rough. Sorry.
I switched to charge beam strats there because they turn out to be quite consistent.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it again because I was just trying to really quickly press the 2 buttons, and the problem was that half the time I guess I was just pressing jump before I even came out of the spin, and no shine spark, and that's what happened there.
Alright, well, you know what? For the most part, at least early on, between John and Mobius, you were really close. So that was very exciting. I think the time difference between early and late win star is 2 minutes, and you were pretty much exactly 2 minutes apart for the majority of it. And then really happened, and that was not great.
Meredith was pretty solid.
Yeah, but Mobius wasn't.
It was not. my Kraid and Brinstar were not solid.
What happened in Ridley?
It was weird stuff. I had to reset the bottom left room a couple of times due to strange things. But then I also got the map.
Ooh.
Suffice to say, it was a little embarrassing.
So
I didn't forfeit, so...
No, you didn't. Good on you.
I didn't have to go to my backup PowerPoint slides, so I'm happy about that, at least.
So what does this mean in terms of the bracket?
It means I face John in the winner's bracket.
Yep.
And it means, let's see what Mobius has to
Probably
wait
Scotty.
between the
Yeah.
winner Scotty and whoever wins between Null and Laser.
Yeah, and that's probably. I'm thinking Scotty's got a pretty good chance there.
That should be interesting too. Scotty has improved a lot.
Hmm.
I mean, I would shake off some of that rust if I were you.
Sound advice.
You're not gonna do it. I know that much. Alright, well, good race to all of you. I don't know if anyone have any closing comments.
I'm
No,
looking forward to watching the VOD.
thanks for commentating on this, Eagle.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Eagle.
I don't know if there's anything on Speed Gaming, but I think we have another Serum Mission race later on.
Yeah, we have one at 2, and that one is, I think it's Lordaloo and JC, I think.
You're right. So there's more Serum Mission in just about half an hour if you guys are interested. But otherwise, thanks for watching and see you guys soon.
See you.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.